Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrency Arbitrage. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please have a look at the links below. So, in the last video, I have left a lot of limit orders waiting to be filled, and I've left around 20 BTC order on Korean won perpetual swap, and I wasn't convinced it will get filled, but there are some market making bots which filled it, and you can see that this is our order. So on this 15-minute time frame, it's like a wasteland. It's a completely empty, and then there is our order, and then there is nothing else. So there is very little trading, but the arbitrage bots are working on this contract. So this is a good place to be long because of funding, which is really low. It's around 10% yearly. So that's something to look at. The same goes for Bitcoin versus yen. Again, the funding is very low, and it has been low. And again, my order has been filled. So we are around 20 BTC long on Bitcoin versus Japanese yen and Bitcoin versus Korean won. And I will just assume that these currencies will stay flat against US dollar. This will not be true. I expect US dollar to kind of strengthen a little bit, but it doesn't matter. The movements on FX markets are very low. So I thought that because the open interest is so small here, like 68 BTC and Bitcoin yen 30 BTC, I thought that because these contracts are so small, it would be difficult to get a fill, but it wasn't. These contracts got filled nearly instantly. However, on ETH USD, our order, and let's just go back to minutely. So this is our order here, and as the price went down, and it's still going down to, at the moment it's, oh god, it's $217 per Ethereum. So as our order was here, the price was just going down, and we were not getting any fills from the market maker or just normal human users. And I pulled off this order. Now I ended up buying around 80k, so we are 67k contracts long, and that's around $120,000 long. So what happened was, not only I didn't get a fill at a good price, like the fills I was getting were at a poor price, but they also skewed the funding. So by placing my order here, I have flipped the funding from benefiting the longs, which we can see now, to funding benefiting shorts in 13 hours. And I think it will stay that way because of my order. So it just proves that ETH USD perpetual future here is a very illiquid contract. And if it encourages people to long, it doesn't take too many people to go long to change the odds to encourage people to short. So I was trying to put too big of a size to take advantage of this funding, and I'll keep that in mind. I'll try to have small size on this contract. At the moment, we need to offload this position, so it will be probably at loss. So I will aim to get rid of this position just under this order. Actually, I'll place my order here. So at the moment, I'm not sure where this premium or discount will go. I think it will be hovering close to zero, like it will be very positive, very negative, and on the daily, on the basis average of very few days, it will be around zero. But we need to get rid of this position, so I will place a sell. Now I don't want to compete with this order for fills, so I think to get some decent fills, I'll have to place my order here. So let's do that now. It should have been a reduce only, but it doesn't matter. So now I'm hoping to get a fill here and just to offload this whole position at some small loss. And for the time being, the the money makers will be the short XBT USD at decent positive premium, and the long BTC versus Japanese yen and Korean won. So I just need to get rid of these contracts, and the arbitrage position will be 44 Bitcoin short, 22 plus around 20. So we'll even this out once we get rid of the ETH USD position. But anyway, this has been at a huge loss. I was hoping to come back in a few hours and just see some nice fills, but that's not the case. The Ethereum has dumped 9%, and that is not great. That will generate some losses for us, but hey, quite frequently it would be beneficial just to pay the maker fee rather than taker fee, but in these situations you just have to swallow the loss. And the worst thing is just to hope for the price to come back and the price just to keep tanking. So if the price goes down, I'll have to lower the price and just eat a bigger loss. I'll continue in the next video at a later stage. I must say that just after the previous video recording has finished, we got quite a lot of fills. So we got filled on 50k, so we are only left with 3k. So we have purchased this at 230, we have sold it mainly at 223, which is not too bad. The loss will be it's difficult to calculate because this position was open for quite a while, but the loss will not be too big. Now at the moment it's just a 5k position, so it's negligent. We can close the ETH XBT hedge, so we'll split that, and again we'll hope for getting some fills. 1, 2, 3, no fills. Okay. I hope this will close. So we'll be left with no ETH USD position. We'll be left with no ETH XBT position. We'll be left with a short. That will be 4.5. That's fine. So 44.5, 22, and 19.3. So that is 30. That is 41.3. So we need to go long around 3.2 Bitcoin. So let's go on the bigger contract, bigger of two of these. So that's this one. That will be around 20k. Oh no. Anyway, that's probably good enough. Perfect. Hopefully at some point this will be filled. So we'll be left with only XBT USD position, so we'll be just arbitraging the Bitcoin USD swap against the Bitcoin 1 Bitcoin yen swap, and hopefully that will bring us some funding. The funding gain will be 0.04 Bitcoin per 8 hours, or the next funding will be 0.06. So that's a decent ARB. I'll come back to this video at a later date. And this is another video, so it's a follow-up, and it has been quite unfortunate. We got two liquidations, unfortunately, and our account value has dropped from 8 to 6 Bitcoin, which is not great. But that's what you get when you are over leveraged. When you have a 3-legged trade, you cannot set stop losses and you don't have time to babysit the position. So when we left on the last video, our ETH position was pretty much closed, and this is what was left from that position. So it's around $3,000 worth of ETH USD, and we had this around 20 Bitcoin short on XBT JPY, so Japanese yen. And we also had this long position on the futures, which was not supposed to be a long-term hold. It was supposed to be just to capture the spread. And unfortunately, while we were liquidated, they have also cancelled all our orders. So we did have a sell at 8729.5, and there were a few buys at this price, like someone bought this. So I had to reinstate this sell. So how are we looking now? The ETH part of the equation is gone. So we are no longer trying to arbitrage ETH, and we are back to arbitraging, well, not back, we are arbitraging XBT USD, which we are short, versus XBT Korean won, which we are long. Now this position looked alright when we started, but it doesn't look so great now. So we'll see how it goes, but at the moment it looks like we'll take a hit. We were hoping for pretty positive funding here. Now the funding is pretty much flat with 0.01%, and the predicted funding is minus 0.04, so we'll be losing money on this position. Now I think we can sustain that for maybe one, maybe two funding rounds, because entering and closing the trade is so expensive. But if it continues for 3 consecutive funding rounds, I would close it. Or if it goes more negative. This contract, it looks like it's very low volume, and I'm not expecting funding to change here. So we're losing money on funding here. We're gaining some money on funding here, but in the future we might start losing money here. So at the moment we're earning 0.047 XBT and losing 0.023 XBT. So it's quite a bad position. We're just waiting for the rates to go positive. Now, I like to be hedged to and be fully in Bitcoin. Unfortunately, at the moment we are short Bitcoin. We are short quite a lot actually. So we are short 47.9 and we are long 29 Bitcoin. That's not great, but I cannot really open anything new. Now, maybe we should just reduce our position by closing some of the XBT USD leg, because again, we are here to arbitrage. We are not here to make some gambles. So let's look at the order book and let's close part of this leg to make sure we are fully hedged, especially that this trade isn't making much money and it will be losing money at some point. It would be really sweet to catch this week, which went almost to zero. It just shows how thin this order book is, and in real life you will see such thin order book. So someone has sold 18 million in 1 week, and it just went, the price just went almost to zero. So it looks like it's reasonable on this on testnet to place some orders very deep in the order book. Fine. So this order book is completely empty. There are plenty of sells. So let's place some buys and let's close this short. So we want to rebuy 20 Bitcoin more or less. Let's say 19. So if you want to place 19 orders on Bitcoin each, it's best just to copy the price of Bitcoin. And put 19 orders. It's a bit slow. That should be 19, yeah. So it's a bit of a gamble to close this way, But if there's a wick, it will just swipe all our buys. Man, actually, we should spread it a little bit more. I'm sure the price will come down a little bit at some point. On Bitcoin, the price fluctuates quite a lot, and you can be safe most of the time just placing some orders a little bit further from the spot price. However, if the price starts running away from you, you will have to chase the price, and there isn't really a way around it. Sometimes just price departs, and you have to take your loss. Okay, so let's keep it this way. So if all this gets filled, then we'll be perfectly hedged, and we'll be losing money on this funding, possibly. But I expect this to change. Now, where can we make some money? So probably the only way to make money here is to sell at 8730 this March future. So how about we increase? So if these are going to close, we'll be able to increase our position size, maybe to 400. Now let's make it 300,000. We don't want it to get cancelled. Fine, that should be good. Is there an opportunity elsewhere? So there was an opportunity on Ethereum. In the past, when we were recording. Oh God, that's that previous opportunity up again. So that changes our outlook of the market. Yeah. So this is where we closed everything, and this was my order, keeping the price a little bit high. And now we're back in the positive funding realm. We don't have much margin to play with, but yeah, it's an opportunity worth capturing. So I need to free up some margin, because the amount of available margin is only half of Bitcoin, and that's pretty bad. Once we free up some margin, we'll go arbing this ETH USD contract as we did before. But at the moment, it's impossible. So at the moment, we'll just wait for some fills, and because this trade is not very profitable, and the ETH short would be quite profitable, we'll just go back to this. So leaving this ETH USD ARB around here was a bad idea. The funding was negative. We have started rebuying our ETH, and then we have made funding positive. So that's the thing. If there is an opportunity to go long something, when you go long, you change the opportunity to go short that thing. So in this world, there isn't enough space for everyone to capture a good opportunity. If too many people capture an opportunity, it's no longer an opportunity. Fine. So we'll wait until part of this closes. We'll wait until we have some more margin, and then if this positive funding stays as it is for a while, we will enter ETH USD perpetual contract ARB again. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Okay, so it's time for the further follow-up. We didn't manage to sell any of these March futures. We need to change the price so that we are front running this order. So we're changing to 8689.5. Hopefully we'll sell some now. And again, the mark price is wrong, so we have a safety net, so we can always try to get liquidated at some point if this directional trade isn't doing particularly well. Now, in terms of the XBT USD trade, This is not going well. It was supposed to have positive funding, and this trade that we have evacuated from and that brought us some losses, we need to enter back into this trade. So here we go. We'll probably have to exit this first. Now available balance is 2.4 BTC. That is not great. So we need some short ETH USD exposure, and we need some long BTC USD exposure. That means we need to rebuy that. So again, I could just market execute, but that will be very expensive. So how about I'll just let the market give us some fills. Now we did get plenty of fills. We were like 44 BTC long, and now we are just 30, so that's good. We had all our orders hit, which is great. So 240k. Let's maybe just do it the quick way. Not particularly quick. That's the way I would make it in real life. Well, maybe I'll just make bigger orders and just spread them a bit more. Anyway, since I've already started, actually reduce only should be clicked. It's not great, so actually how about we cancel all of them and just put reduce only. I don't want any surprises, and I don't have time to pay too much attention to these orders. Ah, snap. And let's just leave this 300k. Let's make it 30k. So this one can actually be 50. I assume that this order will not move. Let's reduce only. And we'll just pray that they are hit, because we are going to put some short ETH orders as well. So how many orders do we have? 8 times 106. So we still have some orders to be submitted. So the orders are starting to get cancelled. That's because they are reduce only. It's good. Let's put one here. So we are meant to be 28, 29 BTC long. So let's open 29 BTC short. With the funding being so positive and the mark price here, I think we can again enter a small gamble. It's not great. We are running a risk of getting liquidated, but let's just open it. So order value 2 BTC. Okay, so let's start with 20 BTC worth of stuff, and just in case there is a long wick, let's open these, and let's hope for the price to go up and down. So as the price goes up, we'll short all these ETH USD contracts. As the price goes down, we'll close our XBT USD position, and after we finish that, we'll be able to hedge our ETH BTC exposure. But we'll leave that for later because we don't have much margin to operate on, and the available amount of margin is pretty disappointing. Good, no ripple opportunity. There are 2 ripple contracts. Nothing exciting. Nope. Fine, and this time our long leg will be on XBT Korean 1. it's expensive to enter and exit a position, so that will be good. Perfect, so let's leave it like that. I think that will conclude the video, and we'll come back in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please have a look at the links below.